Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. I am your hardcore host Rick Head, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, from the Skeleton Realms, he's the Lord Skeleton himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much. It's finally starting to warm up here, and I can't wait to see what kind of hot news we have to go today.
Well, we got some hot news tonight, but now, of course, over at Lance Moss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much. Got a bunch of news this week, and let's have some fun.
Oh, yeah, all right. More news developing in the Vince McMahon sex scandal. As many of you know, that Janelle Grant is suing Vince McMahon for sex trafficking and assault. Grant also says that WWE covers up the allegations. The lawsuit has listed 4 individuals as the corporate officers who have been involved in facilitating the cover-up and the alleged exploitation. Those officers have now been named. One is WWE CEO Nick Khan, WWE COO Brad Bloom, WWE NXT Legal Department Brian Nurse, and of course, last but not least, the former WWE CEO Stephanie McMahon. They have both all been implicated for possibly just looking the other way or covering shit up. Joe, this is a huge news. What's your thoughts?
You know what? All of these people involved, then you got John Laurinaitis, you got Vince thrown in. You know, this is actually a crazy time in WWE. Obviously, they look the other way. You can probably go 99.999% that these stuff actually happened, given Vince's character. You know, like I always said, you still got to have proof that's out there. You got to have physical proof to say it actually happened. It can't be hearsay. But now they're implementing these other people, including Stephanie. And that's a big, now you're messing with the other McMahon family. So it's like, if she knows anything, this is going to not only affect her life, it's going to affect her children's lives, because now they're going to say, well, Mom, did you actually witness what Grandpa was doing lately? It's going to cause more issues for the family than anything else. Now you have, these other guys who are top the tier, and if they've looked the other way, folks, you're seeing the end of the McMahon era. How should I say, McMahon era flunkies who worked with him during the time. So I don't know if Nick is still in there. I think Nick is gone from the WWE.
Nope, not yet.
Okay, so he will be. I guarantee, because what is it? TKO, Dana White, and everybody are not going to put up with that. So,
no, they even released an official statement how they are taking this situation seriously. They did not mention Nick Khan in that press release, but the press release came out literally like 3 hours after it was these names were released. So, but I want to ask you an honest question. Do you really think Stephanie McMahon knew everything about it, the whole situation, or do you think she just knew that Dad was being a creep and she had to cover up?
You know what? I honestly believe she must have seen stuff. She must have known what was going on. Because look, this is the same person who, quote unquote, rumors that she fooled around with the Macho Man. Yeah. She dated wrestlers. She married a wrestler. So what the stuff's going on behind the scenes. So I'm not surprised that some of those little things carried on with her. Regardless if she knew or not, her name is now dragged into this. So when you see something drag into this, it's now a family issue that they got to deal with. So it's become a legitimate, serious thing. Even if she doesn't know about it, her name is now dragged through the mud. It's going to affect her own kids looking at her. And these other individuals are going to have a hard time now trying to find something after WWE. I think Nick Khan and Stephanie have enough money that they don't have to worry about it. But eventually that money's going to drop and they're going to need to find some work. So, yeah, it's going to affect everybody. You know what? Who's the only person not affected by this? And it's funny, Shane O'Mac. Shane McMahon, he's obviously been gone from the WWE. He's probably the one individual who says, you know what, fuck this. I'm not getting involved with this crap. So who knows? We never know.
All right. Well, Lance, your thoughts about all this and all these new names being released?
Well, I mean, with Shano, I mean, hell, he's been out of the backstage loop, like management wise, for 2 or 3 years, something like that. So yeah, but well, one, Stephanie's already gone, and legally she might have a little bit of a defense, saying when it was came out that she was one of the board of directors that voted for Vince not to come back. They actually have that in a thing. But like Joe said, this is the I guess you'd say the purging of the Vince McMahon guys in the WWE, getting his people out there, because Nick Khan, within the next calendar year, and I'm guessing within the next damn month, he's gone, and them other two guys are going to be gone like a damn freight train.
Yeah, and you know, again, these guys are all high up, high named, you know, big names in the company. And you know, when Vince first got arrested and everything, even Nick Khan was like, you know, I'm disgusted. I can't believe this is all happening and this and that. But and yet somehow, I guess he was one of the guys that who specifically that Janelle Grant was talked to. That whenever he had a problem, she said that she had to go to him. So they have talked back and forth one, each other. I don't know if they had any kind of relations. I don't think that's where the relationship went. But I think he was damage control. So either way, Nick Khan really has he's got a job. He's got a lot of shit in front of him. So I'm not sure exactly, and
Yeah.
this whole lawsuit, it hasn't even gone to court yet. It hasn't even started. This is just the early couple of years. When she filed last year, I think she filed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well, you got to remember one thing. Let's be serious for a moment when it comes to stuff like this. Whenever it involves someone, especially as big as Vince McMahon, and the allegations, because that's what they are. No matter what, they're allegations. So when you have stuff like that, you still got to figure out how is this going to work. So you got to get all the evidence. You can't say it's hearsay because again, I've said it many times. You cannot you can arrest someone, but unless you've got all the facts, all the stuff, everything down packed, you can't convict someone on hearsay.
Well,
You know,
but Joe, remember, this is a civil lawsuit.
doesn't
It's,
matter.
it's not
Yep.
beyond reasonable doubt.
well,
Yep.
no,
Yeah.
Now, the federal shit Vince is facing, yeah, that is beyond a reasonable doubt.
well, here's another thing. All right, you guys have to wonder if one of these four officers, even Stephanie, may have to, say shit to save my, to save my ass. Sorry, Vince, but I'm gonna have to, roll over and turn on you.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see Stephanie doing that.
No, not necessarily, but
Yeah, and I could see the other individuals because let's put it like this. Here's the scenario. The scenario here is if they say yes, they knew about it, then it destroys them, their own lives, because now they could be held, as part of this, and they could be getting into a bad situation. If they deny it and it's been proven, they're in this. So they're in a no-win scenario. Do they rat Vince out? But while ratting him out, that implements them. If they don't rat Vince out and it's proved that he did it, then they're pulled into it anyway. So you're in a situation right now. You cannot literally, just make that jump. You got to really everything is right now allegations. They got to see where all of this is going down. They got to investigate everybody. They got to look up phone records. They got to look up emails. They got to look at stuff because, the young lady, it could have happened, but saying it happened and proving it are two different things. So now they got to go through all of this turmoil. And right now, this is shaking WWE to the core because now you're affecting these other people. Now Stephanie's going to be affected, which is also going to affect Triple H because, hey, what does Paul know what's going on? Apparently, his wife slept with wrestlers and he slept with her. Do
I
we
mean, hell,
is that a McMahon trade? Let's see.
one of Vince's supposed cohorts, and I say supposed because, like I said, nobody's been convicted,
Yep.
has already turned on Vince. People power has already turned on him, saying, "Oh, he did nothing wrong. He's a victim." Johnny Ace fucking rolled. Johnny Ace rolled on Vince.
Well, again, it goes back to self-preservation.
Yeah.
If you feel that you know what you're sinking, and well, it's like, all right, you know what? Hey, sorry, we were best friends, but fuck you. I gotta get my shit out of my own problems out of the weeds and shit. So, um, and that's just how it is. Let's move along. Um, now, Natalia is already a living legend in wrestling, and is an inspiration to countless women in the industry. While speaking with Justin LaBar, Bianca Belair stated that Natalia should already be in the Hall of Fame, even though she's still an active wrestler. Now, we talked about this, guys, right before the show started, and we've already talked about how other wrestlers, active wrestlers, are in the Hall of Fame. And Lance, to me, it doesn't make it makes perfect sense for her to go in there.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, she's been with the company, almost 20 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Women, and I'm not being misogynist in this at all, is just look at the facts. They don't last that damn long in the company. Somebody that has that length of longevity deserves to go in.
Absolutely.
And she doesn't have shit matches.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, Joe, we've already seen people like Lita and Rey Mysterio who have all come back, and I know that's just two people off the top of my tongue. So
Natty deserves to be in there. They're putting people that don't have nothing to do with the entire WWE. Some of these guys are NWA who've never stepped into a WWE ring. When you have someone like, my camera's acting up.
Yeah, I noticed that.
When you have
Great Beyond.
Yeah, I'm cloaking in and out with the Klingon with my Klingon Klingon cloaking device. But in the scenario, Natalia's been in there for so long, multi-time women's champion. She's gone through stupid gimmicks just for them to, just for her to keep going being a good worker. She comes from a famous wrestling family. There I go again. Here we go. So you look at all these things. She deserves to be in a. She has more rights to be in it than anybody that they're putting in right now, or any celebrities. So Natty should be in the Hall of Fame. What are they waiting for? Her to become the Age of Moolah before she has to get in there?
If so, she got a long damn way to wait.
Yeah, and I want to welcome Terry 3G into the into our chat room. Welcome, Terry. So yeah, right now the Hall of Famer, they've already have several names. They have Bull Nickel, Muhammad Ali, Paul Heyman, the U.S. Express, which is Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, and Thunderbolt Patterson, who I did not know who this guy was. Again, Joe, you were talking about him because I never heard of him, to be honest.
Thunderbolt Patterson was a wrestler straight from the NWA. He's never stepped into the WWF or WWF. Has nothing to do with the WWF, and obviously they're running out of people. They can't put in Demolition or Natty or somebody else. They have to find these other guys who don't really mean. And I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of the guy. He's from many wrestlers, from Dusty Rhodes, so a lot of people say he's a great guy. I'm looking at, I'm doing a cheat sheet, so I'm looking at his titles and the feuds he was with. You know, it's he's a he's had a rough life. He had both legs and his arms amputated due to diabetes. He's
Wow.
an ordained minister, you know, and currently the man's 82 years old, so he's not dead yet. So, and he's been wrestling since 1964. So, you know, honestly, like Baron von Raschke, Brad Armstrong has more right to be in there than, and I'm not making fun of, Thunderbolt Patterson, but honestly, what has he done for the WWE?
Yeah.
He's, he wanted to form a wrestlers' labor union. Gee, back in the mid 80s or early 80s, didn't another wrestler wanted to do that? Yes, he became a governor, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah. And they've tried for decades to have their own little thing, and it never worked out. Especially with Vince, he did not want anybody, any of the wrestlers to have any kind of a union because that means he would have no power. So, but you have to know now, would a union be even a good idea for any company?
Are you crazy for a wrestling company? Yeah, I can imagine that one person gets a pay dispute, they're all walking out, and that'll stop the show immediately. It's like you don't really see an actors union. They do have it. They do have the actors
It just
union.
struck last year.
No,
That's
that was the
their shit.
writers.
That was the
That was
writer.
the
Yeah.
that
That
was
was
the writers.
SAG and AFTRA. That was the SAG and the writer. Both struck in Hollywood.
No.
Yeah, but what were they doing besides making bad movies? So WWE is basically always active. If you have workers walk out, then there's no television. If there's no television, there's no sponsors. No sponsors, no money, no way to fund the show. So what do you do?
Yeah.
So that then they find themselves in AEW where all their idiots are killing themselves, being put on the shelf, and other idiots got to run in and do 50 more monkey flips. How you doing, Terry?
Yeah. Speaking of advertising and sponsorships, I guess WWE is now putting like labels on their mats like they didn't do before. Right now, this past I think it was like week, it was Prime. So I guess now they have a big Prime logo, and I guess some people are getting pissed over it. I'm like, why? It's just another way of making the money. So, all right. You know what, guys? I think we need to move on. Um, Miro and C.J. Perry have decided to split way. Have gotten a divorce after being married for over 7+ years. Um, there is speculation that the couple were having troubles from all the way all last year. TMZ spoke with Perry regarding the divorce, and in short, Perry stated that it was a difficult decision for both of them, but they will remain friends and hopefully will be able to work together in the future. Um, well, you know what? I know that a lot of people are going to be happy that C.J. Perry's single.
Yeah.
um, Joe, what's your thoughts about Miro and Perry splitting?
At first you could have probably seen it come in the cracks when they're working in two different companies. Then, obviously, this was probably deeper than anything else of just probably not clicking anymore. It just wasn't working. At least they broke up amicably. They didn't go into a messy divorce or anything like that, and they're willing to work with each other later down the road. So, maybe she found somebody else that's better than Miro. Maybe he's found somebody else. Sometimes it just doesn't click, especially in the wrestling business. So maybe it's just, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's something that just wasn't meant to be from their part. But at least they're willing. They're not like they're hating each other, and they're willing to work with each other. So who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Lance, your thoughts on this?
I echo everything Joe said, and I'll just say this: Lana. CJ, call me.
Well, you're not gonna go kidnap her like Kayla does with John Moxley occasionally.
No.
No, because that's a serious offense, so Zoe can get away with it.
Yeah.
All right, understandable. So, all right, we're gonna move right along. Um,
That was a short.
yeah,
subject.
it was really short and not really much to talk about, I guess. Over the past couple of months, it wasn't clear whether Kazuka Okada would sign with the WWE or AEW. According to the reports, the Rainmaker decided to sign with AEW because he would not be allowed to travel back to Japan during his time off. Also, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling have worked together in the past, so they kind of was a little extras on the topping. Okada did admit that he wanted his WrestleMania moment, but overall AEW had a better package deal. So Okada is now with AEW for a 3-year deal. Lance, your thoughts?
And also, I guess it's something he didn't want to say, but it's obvious. The way the WWE has been booking its male Japanese talent, booking the Rainmaker like that, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
That,
I don't.
Also, being able to go back to Japan and not having to move to the States like he would have had to with WWE. And also, $13 million over the span of 3 years is a pretty good incentive in and of its damn self.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, again, he did make the right decision, like Lance said. You got the working agreement. He can wrestle in Japan if he wanted to, which is a great option. If there was a time when, AEW doesn't have a storyline or use for him, he can go to Japan and wrestle there and build up something there and then come back when they need him. 13 millions in over 3 years. So you think about it, that's a good, what is that, 3.5 million a year?
Almost
You
full.
know,
13, yeah,
so
a little
that's
over
over
4
4.
million.
yeah, so you think about it though, that's kind of a big thing for someone who's technically more known to Japan than over here. So, Tony Khan's willing to splurge that money for for him. God bless him. He's made a right decision. WWE would have just buried him. He probably wouldn't have been called. He would have been called the Drain Maker, with knowing WWE, or the Pain Maker, or some other bad cliche, so he doesn't use his name. So who knows? But better deal for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, also, uh, Will Ospreay, he was about to, he came close to signing with the WWE for this very same reasons. Wanted that WrestleMania moment, but I think he also said that, he's married and his wife is still over in Japan, so he has to go back and forth, and he doesn't want to break her time up, so he knew that, again, while he's working, he can work, and then he's not, he can go see his wife and stepson. And I think that's exactly, it worked out that way. That shows the versatility in AEW over New Japan over WWE.
And also, Terry 3G says only Asians WWE wants are the pretty women ones. So you could see that definitely. But you know what? Vince is not there, so they're probably trying to clean up all that stuff that's going on. But you know what, Rick? Right now, they got a lot of good Japanese talent in AEW. I think the pond is becoming overcrowded right now in AEW.
Well, yeah, right now, again, they have the 3 shows. They have Dynamite, they have Rampage, which is just like a 1-hour show, and they have Collision. And while it's not exclusive, Tony has kind of separated some people for certain people, so that way they get their coverage. But yeah, I do agree with you, Joe. AEW's the pond's getting a little full. Let's move along. Yakuta Yoshi is a star of All Japan Pro Wrestling. Sadly passed away on Monday. He was 50 years old. Yoshi was found passed out in his locker room after his match. He was rushed to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Um, Yoshi's family revealed that his death was due to, I hope I pronounced this right, arteriosclerosis. It's a narrowing of the arteries that carry oxygen and nutrients from the heart to the rest of the body. So it was an underlying disease, guys, and it's such a shame at 50 years old for somebody to, it's a real shame. Lance, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, this is not the first time a wrestler in Japan has died right after a match, but honestly, with as severe as this disease was, and I'm not one to tell people they should retire one way or the other, but if his disease was this bad, he probably shouldn't have been in the ring.
All right. Joe, is it possible this wrestler, I'm just, kind of spitballing. Is it possible he didn't know he had this underlying disease?
Could be. He probably didn't take care of himself. Probably didn't, just ignored it. Not a lot of people like going to the hospital. And it was funny when you open up the as soon as you mentioned this, I didn't hear the full thing, so I heard Yoshi died, and I'm thinking, God damn, Mario really worked that dinosaur to death.
Damn it, Joe.
What?
That's Joe. That's closing.
I have to throw that in there, but no, it's serious. If I think more people need to be checked, because if you don't, maybe he suffered headaches, maybe it was shortness of breath, and there are some warning signs when it comes up to that. So, may he rest in peace. My condolences to his family. My condolences to the Super Mario family for their loss.
Oh, God. All right. Unfortunately, we have another death we have to talk about. And Ray Distrawler, who's a young luchador, sadly passed away at the age of 22. And that was after collapsing in the ring earlier this month. Distrawler collapsed during a riot event on March 2nd and was said to be in grave condition as he had suffered severe brain damage. Lance, I'm going to start with you because I'm pretty sure Joe will have a rant.
No, more of a joke, but go ahead, Lance.
I'm kind of reminded of the Perro Aguero incident a few years ago where, he hit the ropes and then was honestly gone by the time Ray hit the 619. But, damn, 22.
Yeah, and that's absolutely tragic. Joe, over to you.
Hang on. Before he gets done with his joke, because I know that's smart.
Go ahead.
Joe at Exclusives.com.
The only reason he died because they denied him his green card.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, you know what? First of all, look at him. He looks like somebody says, "Si, senor, I give you your fries with your hamburger."
Oh, what the fuck?
Look at the mask looks bigger than this fucking dude. And now to put the joke aside, it is a tragedy. He suffered, what was it? A brain damage or something?
Severe brain damage. Yeah.
He suffered what?
Severe brain damage.
Severe brain damage. Shit, they call me climbing over the fence. Something like that, when you do a lot of high flying moves, you're putting a lot of pressure. If he fell on his head, he got hit by chairs. Look at the ECW locker room for concussions. I'm not surprised he didn't have some underlying brain damage issues. What's sad about this, and now I'm going to be serious about it. I did the jokes. He should have been checked out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maybe if this was happening, he probably suffered from headaches. He probably could have suffered from other things. And nobody thought to ask this idiot, because that's what he is. I'm sorry. But he should have been checked before putting in the ring. That's why we have state athletic commissions in some states, so idiots do not just go in the ring and drop dead. If you're suffering from headaches or anything of that nature, if you've been suffering from concussions, if you do stupid moves that you shouldn't do and learn to wrestle, maybe you wouldn't live longer. So, you know, it's a tragedy that life was lost, but it could have been prevented a long time ago. Now, if Biden will finish the damn border wall, maybe we wouldn't have these guys trying to flip over the top.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. I'm sure Terry
Oh,
CG can
still
confirm
on.
that we are live.
Okay.
Oh,
Lance is
jeez.
covering his mouth because he knows it's funny.
What do you think I was ducking my head? I'm like, oh god, it's horrible, but
Look, like, even the dude's mask is like tilted. So it's like, like his mask is way too bigger. Now let's move on to a real worker.
yeah. Let's talk about Sheldon Benjamin. During a recent interview, he revealed that he had several talks with AEW, and he's just waiting for the call so he can sign with the company. Again, this is another topic we talked about before we got on. Lance, what's your thoughts about Shelton Benjamin possibly signing with AEW?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he'd be a full-time in-ring. I kind of doubt he'd be full-time in-ring. He'd be more of a training and backstage kind of guy because he has trained wrestlers in the past and stuff like that, which I think that giving his age, that'd probably be the best option for him.
All right.
And wrestle here and there like Goldust does, or Dustin Runnels does.
All right, Joe, what's your thoughts?
I respect Sheldon Benjamin. He is a wrestler. He's not going to go through all these flippity flips. In the land of flippity flips, honestly, if he's in the back working as a trainer, which will be great for him. They need people who actually are wrestlers who they can train these idiots to not to kill themselves. If he could fit into that role, and I agree with Lance, maybe participate in a couple matches once in a while, make it special. But my true feelings are he should have gone to TNA where he could have been a big fish in a very empty pond, and he could have been a champion there. Because,
but then he would have been on food stamps.
I'm sure Billy Corgan's with the NWA Power.
Yeah.
We all know how
I don't even know
is.
who's running TNA anymore.
I don't know if it's Anthem still, but still, that you would think they would try to lure this guy in because that's a former WWE. He's a former WWE guy. He's still in great shape. He still can talk. He'll be an asset to their locker room and bring some eyes to maybe 2 or 3 to their show. That would have been better, and he could have made any demands. Look, I want to get my dick sucked. I want a fucking title. I want a couple of bitches every morning in my hotel room. He could have asked for a lot, and they would have gave him to him just to pull him over. Now in AEW, yeah, see, Terry says it's Anthem who runs it.
Well, I knew it running. I wasn't sure if they had like a GM or anything. So
yeah, the owl, the owl from Canada. Being if he's a active wrestler in AEW, he's just gonna get swallowed up by just with so many people in there. You've got maybe he can hook up with Swerve Strickland. Maybe he could hook up with the Prince Nana or Powerhouse Hobbs or somebody like that. He could fit as a tag team guy, which will bring credibility to the roster. But as a singles guy, he's going to be really overcrowded in there, and he's not going to make much headway. So, is it a good thing? Maybe. It has its pros and cons right now.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got. And yeah, I didn't realize we'd be moving that fast through the topics. I thought the Vince McMahon. I thought we'd be in here for at least a half hour just on that one
Well,
alone.
shit.
Well, you
Have
know what? Let me put this here real quick. Let me kill some time now since you said that. You know, we've had some very sad deaths in professional wrestling. You know, we've had a couple broke up. We have WWE in legal trouble. You know, that you're going to see a very big house cleaning, obviously. You know, you've got, you know, you got wrestlers who are out injured. You've got the face of professional wrestling slowly changing because the guys who are flippity flips are slowly getting injured and they're going to step aside. You got the powerhouse guys starting to move in. You know, you have now a dynasty, a wrestling dynasty, the McMahon dynasty. It's going to be affected by these allegations. You know, and again, we're seeing a shakeup in um today's position over in the chat room. Terry 3D says Tommy Dreamer supposedly took over Scotty Moore's position in TNA Impact.
But Tommy's came out and said, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, because he doesn't want his name dragged into that. Um, right now, if you look at the two major companies, uh, I don't know who really to give. I would give the edge to WWE because they've been a global company. They've been around for decades and all that. But they're so repetitive with their stuff. It just pushes people away. AEW is great. You see some young people you never seen before. You see some legends come back in and out. But what kills them is that all these idiots tend to do the flippity flips and kill each other. So wrestling is in need of a real shakeup, and they need some true wrestlers to come out. It's unfortunate they dropped the FTR. You know, Sheldon Benjamin could be a good asset if Swerve Strickland decided to bring him and Powerhouse Hobbs together. And I think they will be a great team. You know, make their own. What was the faction that Benjamin? It was Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, MVP.
Oh, the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
The who?
The
Hurt Club.
Well, it's called the Hurt Locker.
Hurt Walkers.
Locker.
Oh. No, wasn't they something else? I swear they were a different name. The Hurt Business.
Oh, the Hurt Business. Okay, they called it the Hurt Locker, and then they called it the Hurt Business. They were jumping around with that name. So yes, that was.
Yeah.
A bunch of things got hurt.
Yeah.
Including my brain.
Especially us every time we saw Bobby Lashley trying to do a promo. You know, so I think another remake of that with Swerve Strickland leading that, Powerhouse Hobbs. Then you got Sheldon Benjamin. You got the powerhouse, you got the skilled guy, and you got the better skilled guy who's young, who can talk, who's intriguing, and then you got Prince Nana as the manager.
Well, they could also do a trios tag right now because AEW's trio tag is also working. But honestly, I think Swerve Strickland is looking for a solo run.
Oh no, he could be this. He could be that Bobby Lashley who's solo, and the two other guys could team up. You know.
Yeah.
How Hobbs get that rub from Sheldon Benjamin. Sheldon Benjamin gets to work with a powerhouse who can help him. So that chemistry works well. So, you know, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody in AEW is that intelligent to do that. WWF's Bear Wrestling since 1982. WWF Bear Wrestling since 19. I think you meant Bear like Bare when it comes to the backstage area.
Yeah. So WWE 2K.
Let me see your booty on your fire. Did I say that loud?
WWE 2K24 is out. I don't know, Joe, if you'd played it yet.
No, but I have a team for my WWO Live, we're virtual wrestling company. They have it. They've been going through it. A lot of little glitches are in it still. You can upload custom graphics. They finally fixed that. They're going to slow down on making these every year, and they're just going to include DLCs to kind of keep the game alive and going. So it looks good. There's a lot of things that are promising, but there's so many glitches. That's why personally I hold off in getting these games because I want the bugs to be fixed. So it's a great game from what I'm told. There's a lot of great things being done in it. And it's just some of the stuff is really you've got to do so much to unlock certain
Oh
characters.
yeah.
It's just like they went overboard on it. They gave some great things for people who like me, who I got a great group who we run that wrestling, virtual wrestling promotion. So they gave us something that we use, like the camera angles and other stuff. So that's eye candy for us because we can use it. Say Benjamin and Lethal will be a good team. There you go. I didn't even think about that.
And Shelton Benjamin just split with Jeff Jarrett. They just
Sheldon,
no, Jeff Jarrett and
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. They just split.
There you go. There's your team right there. Like I said, can you imagine a new version of a Four Horsemen with Swerve Strickland leading it, not changing his character, leave him the way he is. Benjamin and Lethal as a tag team, and Powerhouse Hobbs, or Powerhouse Hobbs and Benjamin, or Powerhouse Hobbs with Lethal, and the other guy can run for like a singles title. They should think that will be an awesome, and that will give these guys an opportunity to hold gold. Because who are their tag champs now? Nobody, because Sting's retired.
Yeah, right now it's vacated.
So that could be an idea for them later down the road. So, but yep, I digress.
Yeah, but yeah, back to the game. As you said, a lot of stuff is locked. You have to play the 40 years of wrestling, which as you're playing a match halfway through, and then all of a sudden, like, it asks you to do all these certain like criteria if you want to unlock something. You know, you'll have to like hypothetically, when I played the first match with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, you had to chant for to the crowds. You had to chant to Andre, and a lot of it also was like I won't say predetermined, but I was playing like a pot like early in the match, and then all of a sudden it went to go body slam. I'm like, I didn't try to body slam him, and then it cut to like a little like a short screen like a film.
The short video.
Yeah. So
it's like, the cinematics that they added in.
Yeah, but they did that also with the career mode, which I found very, very strange. And you could call it whether a spoiler or what, but I had my character, and I was playing. The story is that Roman Reigns has dropped the title and he has gone on vacation for whatever reason.
Which he should now.
Yeah, well, but now the title's vacated, so I got all the way up to the final match against Kevin Owens. And I was about to beat him, and then, of course, it cuts to a cut screen where Roman Reigns rushes in, spears him, and spears me, and then just drapes my arm over Owens, and I get the 3 count. And I'm like... And apparently that's all throughout the TV show, throughout the storyline mode.
Yeah, they added the realism of what will happen on a TV show. So again, for guys like me who run like little virtual wrestling companies, you know, that's an added extra that you can put in on your own if you're running, like if you're doing matches and whatnot.
Yeah.
On your own. So that little thing, I could see why they did it, because there's such a big demand right now. You see, go to Twitch alone. Twitch alone has like 3 or 4 of these little wrestling companies or more who do AI versus AI. So it's like character versus character and just fight. And while you commentate, you know, for us, we're a little bit more different, but those little extras with the cinematics, with the run-ins, and make it look like a real TV show. That's what they gave to the streaming audience.
Yeah.
The gameplay is really a kind of button mashing and all this stuff, and you got to unlock all this just to get 1 or 2 things. if you're playing the 40 years of WrestleMania, they don't want you to change the outcome. Like if you're Andre and you beating Hogan down, all of a sudden, that Andre didn't beat Hogan in WrestleMania 3. So they want to make sure that sticks to that right storyline.
Yeah, and they don't do like WrestleMania 1 through 40. They're jumping around
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. Like I think right now I'm up to WrestleMania 6. I
The
haven't.
ultimate challenge.
Yeah, where you have to play Hulk. I'm not sure even sure. I think you start off as a warrior, but at WrestleMania 1, you're Hulk Hogan. You don't have a choice to be between the two. You're playing the character they selected for you. So, which I can understand to some point. Um, you know, uh, but again, if you want all those extra characters, you have to release. You have to go through and play it like. Well, I had to redo a couple of matches over and over and over again just to get certain things unlocked.
Yep.
So it was frustrating, and after a while, I was just like kind of like fuck this. I'm just moving on. I just want to play the game,
Yeah.
not just
And unfortunately, by doing that, by like giving up the story mode or the 40 years of WrestleMania or something, you're not unlocking certain things. So you basically got the bare bones. So they force you to play the game to unlock these certain things, unless you buy the unlocker, that little program you can buy from them, and it's like $5, I think, sometimes, or $10, and it unlocks certain characters and belts and arenas and all that. But for other little things, you still got to play the game to unlock it. So, like to get something from Undertaker, like I guess his boots or something, you got to play Undertaker and do achievement to gain that.
Mhm.
So they really make you work and want to play this game. They want you to play this game, because a lot of people play it, they make a character, boom, okay, one or two things, fuck you, we'll just buy the unlocker and we'll unlock everything and that's it. They want you to enjoy the game and play it like if you're a wrestling fan. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it has bits of everything, and that's why for me it's great that I don't have it yet, but my crew does, my little production crew.
Yeah.
And I got to give them props on I got to give them props on the show here. So Marvin Dallas, OSU Phoenix, Gene Jordan, the Hellbilly, Anthony Trudeau, LG, David Guerrero. These guys have really busted their ass making my virtual wrestling promotion a big thing. So thank you guys. So but they're really put this in there. And they're learning everything about the game, character creation, arena creation, the playthroughs. They're actually, showing me everything as they go along. So it's a good game, but be prepared to work
Yeah.
to achieve.
Yeah, and again, like I said, that I can understand. I understand that they want you to work to make the game the more playable, for so play it over and over so you can unlock things. I get that. The one thing that pissed me off the most about this game is I went to create a wrestler. I created my wrestler. I had my look. I had my move set. Everything. Took me about a good hour and a half. And if you've ever made a wrestler in a video game, it's not 20 minutes. It's an hour and a half. I finally get this guy done, and then I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna move over to the storyline where I can use him. Nope. I have to start from fucking scratch. I can copy his look, but I can't use his moveset. Forget it. I have to start all over.
Yep.
I'm like, you motherfuckers. I had the entrance going and everything, and it's just
How
unreal.
dare you? You're a jobber when you start off, mister.
Yeah. So, and that's pretty much again how you start off with a game. It was weird because the year before, in 2023, you started off in the performance center. Here, you started off working on Raw, and then you eventually get a title. Which I'm like, I don't want to be a world champion right off the bat. I want to be doing the Royal Rumble and all this other stuff, and that makes me a wrestling fan. But anyway, I digressed. I'm not sure. There's really not a lot of news, guys. The only thing, the biggest news all week was, you know, the four names being named.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Wrestling has
Elia,
been a little slow.
yeah,
Which, I mean, it gets that way the weeks before WrestleMania.
yeah. So I guess Elias, or now known as Elia, recently expressed interest in heading to AEW. During a recent interview with Monopoly Events, Elias was released from the company last year, and he stated the following: "Everyone has their advantages, and just to appeal to me from a personal standpoint, I think it would be cool to go to Japan and work for New Japan, just to show some people that something I might not have expected. Um, they all associate with me in a certain way. I would just love to see that kind of expectations anyway." Um, and he went on to say, "Then I feel I would like to." Oh God, hold on, my brain is because I would like to work out with AEW for TNA. I love those ideas, but again, it's just a matter of opportunity. So, Joe, again, Elias. I'm not gonna call him his name Eli, but this guy really had it all. He had the look, he had the build, he had the gimmick, and WWE for some reason just didn't want him.
You know, I think it's because of all the stuff WWE did to him. You know, he was great as Elias. You know, walk with Elias. They could have kept that. He was like a more. I don't want to put him in that category, but he was almost a honky tonk man. He played the guitar. He talked his stuff. He used the guitar to hit people. He was like a Jeff Jarrett. You know, it's. I think honestly, they could have done better with him, and then they put him as the brother or whatever the fuck, and
Ezekiel.
yeah, they to try to revive a new look for him. You know, he was doing great. Everybody really enjoyed his. Everybody enjoyed the hell. They were going to places just to watch him be this be this character, and they used to go watch him sing and whatnot. So, honestly, I think that's another guy. Unfortunately, AEW this Elias should go to TNA for now. Just build his character up, build his reputation up, because that's the only way that he's going to get out there. You know. Um, Unfortunately, again, this is a guy who's been screwed over by WWE and now has to find a way to build up his credit. I think he should come out as his own character, make a new character that fits him.
Actually, that was his character, the Drifter.
No, yeah, but he needs to. But if it's a WWE owned thing, then he can't use it. So he needs to figure out something that can be close to what he was without copyright issues or trademark issues, and kind of build from there. Because for him to come into an AEW, yeah, he could say he's a former WWE guy named Elias, but okay, now what? You're Larry the guitar player now. What? So nothing you could do. Also in the YouTube chat channel, Terry 3D says Maven posted a great test tribute video today with donations to the Cauliflower Alley Wrestling Club for helping for helping organizations. So yeah, if you don't know who Maven is, he was in WWF many years ago. So, and he's now posting videos. So go figure.
Yeah. Lance, what's your thoughts on Elias going to either TNA or maybe even AEW or New Japan?
Well, first, with his release from the WWE, nobody can convince me that was not Vince's doing, because the brother thing was
that was all him. That was all Vince.
And then Triple H comes back into power Elias is back, the Elias gimmick's back on TV. Then Vince comes back into POW, and Elias was getting a push under Triple H. Vince comes back, he's jobbing the fucking Omos.
Yeah.
But honestly, like he said, he's pretty much open to anywhere that'll pay him, like any of the big companies that'll pay him, from what I've been able to kind of put together. But I'd probably go get his money from Japan first, and then if he has to, go on food stamps and TNA.
You know, and again, you look at the guy, he's a good worker. He's got a good look. He just now has to reinvent himself. He looks better with the beard. Let's leave the beard. And he needs to go into build up the character again and really just go straight into TNA, because Japan is going to look at him like, who are you going to be now?
They got Jungle Boy, so.
But Jungle Boy was on TV as a steady character. So Elias, like we said, he was great, and then they altered the storyline. They bring it back, alter the storyline. So he needs something steady, and Jungle Boy is Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. Elias can't be Elias, so he has to come up with a whole new gimmick.
Well, like I said, he could use a gimmick or change the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to come close to that gimmick.
Elia, so, that's what he's calling his name. Instead of Elias, it's Elia.
Ew, that sounds horrible. Sounds like Rey Mysterio's daughter.
Real quickly in the chat room, Terry 3G noted that Tess did die 15 years ago today, which in 2009.
Damn.
It's been a long time. Long time. Oh. All right. Before we wrap things up, Lance, do you have anything you want to add in? Or? Okay. So I guess we're going to wrap things up. Joe, you still with us? Or?
Yeah, you tell him, Lance.
I mean, there really ain't. I mean,
that really
is the news that we came up with. I mean, shit.
Well, I am looking forward to tonight's TNA Big Business. So a lot of good matches going to be on. Wardlow's going to be taking on Samoa Joe for the World Championship. Of course, Joe's favorite wrestler is supposed to be debuting, Sasha Banks.
Oh, God, they ruined wrestling already with that little slutty bitch. They should put her, Saraya, and the car wreck, Ruby Soho, together and just call them the sluts of WWE. That's a piss breaker right there for me. Why would they even bother bringing in that little slut? My dog is pushing me aside. So why they would invest in bringing that little bitch, I don't know why.
Well, I got another quick question for you. It seems that Mariah May has taken on Toni Storm's former gimmick. She's even coming down to her entrance music. So, and I'm not sure if this is really a good idea, Lance. What do you think?
It got worn out, but what's next? She's going to be maybe stoppable Mariah May or some shit?
Yeah. I wasn't sure about your thoughts, or if you caught that, Joe. I know we saw that during the pay-per-view, but apparently she was also last week on Dynamite, and I'm guessing she's going to be on this week's.
You know what? Whatever. That's how you got to look at with AEW. Whatever, because they don't know what they're doing. You got Timeless Toni Storm. It's funny once or twice. It's funny when she does the little between commercials. She does her little stupidity, but now it's a bore. Now it's annoying. Then you got chubby Deanna Perez, and you got these other girls. My God, they need to really. Lance said it perfectly, before the TBS women's title has a better roster than the world title, which is sad. So at this point, whatever. If it works, it works.
Huh.
Good. So Ruby Soho is solo at the moment. Good. Maybe she'll go hang out with Han Solo and get shot somewhere.
Damn.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank Terry 3G for coming in the chat room. Joe, you're over at Skeleton Realms. What do you got going on over there?
Well, we have our March 30th show, the WWO Live show, which is Saturday Night Slam and Stream. It is Saturday night, the March 30th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a big show for us, so make sure we're a virtual wrestling promotion. You'll see the new, we're now switching over. This is the last show under the WWE 2K23 game. So we'll be moving on to 24, but it's going to have a lot of great matches. We're going to have some backstage interviews. We got some promos and other storylines going on. So just do the hashtag WW Live. As far as Scoldrens Realms is, I'm back doing those. Now I'm going to be basically doing a couple more retro games, and I'm also doing the new mission in Grand Theft Auto 5. So just do the hashtag Scoldrens Realm. I am Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, just like WWO Live, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
All right. And I want to also give a quick shout out to our good friends from BC Games and More, Mr. and Mrs. A. They're live on every Saturday at 9:30, Joe, if I'm correct.
Yes, that is correct. 9:30 every Saturday and Sunday. So check out BC Games and More. BC and Mrs. A always do retro games. They do giveaways. They always support our channel. So make sure you go check them out on Facebook exclusively.
Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. What do you got going on over there?
Every Tuesday night we go live on Lance Moss TV and Friends. We shoot shit for about an hour and a half at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern. And Zoe actually has her scary stories on her Nightmare Vixen page at 7 Eastern, 8 Central.
All right. Well, and again, if you want more of Hardcore Wrestling Rants, check out our Facebook, Wrestling Rants, where we have the latest news, rumors, and we also do cover AEW Dynamite. So feel free to hop in and give us your thoughts. So for the Hardcore crew, I'm your Hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
Punisher!
And send all your donations to Nintendo on the sad passing of Yoshi.